Right. Hey, good afternoon. I was going to say good morning. I've been intending to do this for quite some time. But I wanted to just make it a little announcement. For some of you that were there at our first church service, it's been 1 year. It's our 1 year anniversary today that the Word Christian Church first started. It started in our home with 7 people. And within 3 weeks, we had over 30. And something had to give because we had no room in our house anymore. I remember that first service, how sweet it was. We had worship music. We had a message. I remember that message. It was entitled, Against All Odds. We used the example in the Bible of Gideon and his 300 against hundreds. I believe it was 130,000. Against all odds. And yet, when God's got your back, when God is with you, when you are marching in God's will, it just doesn't get any sweeter because the victory comes always. All things are possible with God. So yeah, we were lifted up by that story, by that message Sunday. And we praised and we worshiped and we went to God in prayer with thanksgiving in our hearts. I remember we even had a church bulletin. And the fellowship and the excitement that we had after that first service was just amazing. But like I said, we knew we needed to do something differently. And as it were, just a short time before that, we had just finished building our shop next door. We've been blessed to have a large piece of property, and we had a half an acre to build a shop and park our stuff. And it was our intent to use that shop to work on our classic cars and on our boats and whatever we needed and to store a motorhome in. We were blessed with a 40 by 60 building. But you know, God knew what we were going to do with that shop. I remember when I was building it, I was questioning myself, well, I'm 73 years old. What am I going to do with that building? I don't have that much time left. But God knew. God knew. So the next Sunday service, we moved it out into our metal building, and there was so much help making that happen. Some of our first attendees who helped us grow the church, because it's the people. The people are the church, not the building. But the people made that happen. It was wonderful. And we cordoned off with curtains 1/4 of that building. And we could put 60 people in there. And it was beautiful. And Mikey came and joined us in worship. And we had help in our children's church. And we had all these ministries that were being filled. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. And soon, we had grown to a number over 100. And we had to cordon off half the building. And we had a curtain that went from one end to the other end. And we could seat over 120 people. But then it got crowded when we had our fellowship. And we didn't have room for the kids. So we ended up extending even more room inside the building, and we opened up our hospitality area. And what a wonderful ministry that is. And we built a new building for the little ones. They have their own little clubhouse. How cool was that? We were having so much fun, and so many people were chipping in with their time, their treasure, and their talents. And my friend Mikey, he called this place the God Shop. And how apropos was that? And then we know what happened. The China virus hit. And the governor mandated that we could no longer have church services as they were. We had to limit it to 10 people. And we did. We were in compliance. We followed the letter of the law. After all, this was an emergency, and this was government ordered, mandated, and we complied. But the church went on. We filled those 10 seats, and we had people coming in, faithful servants in the ministries, attending church. And we began to live stream our messages and put them on our church website and later on YouTube. So we were doing what God asked us to do. We held church services, we preached and taught the word. And then steadily, as the governor relaxed the mandate, deeming that churches in this state, the state of Arizona, that we needed to have them open. He deemed it as essential to the people, and people began to return. We have had 3 of our church family members attacked recently, in the last couple months, by this virus. And each time they were infected outside of our church body. And I am extremely grateful and thankful that God has protected us as a body and that He has kept us all healthy. I am also extremely grateful to God for His healing of all those that we love and care about that contracted COVID-19. Every one of them has recovered. Each one of them went through hardship, and each of them was affected differently. Some to the extreme, and others seemed like it was just a mild case. So here we are today, November 10th, ready, anxious to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. And Rose and I have been looking forward to this for months now. We've prepared for it. We've got all kinds of things already bought, set aside for this celebration. And yet today, I come to you with a message. And it's a hard one for me, personally. Because we were looking forward to that same sweet fellowship that we had that first Sunday. Only this time, there would be a larger gathering of the saints. So that brings me to this announcement today. As the shepherd of this flock, I have a responsibility to not only bring you God's word, but I have a responsibility to do everything in my power to protect you all. Rose and I love you all. We care about you. And for me to be responsible or irresponsible, I know in my heart where my flesh is, but I also know in my heart what God's will is. And He wants me to do what I need to do to protect you. So we're going to not cancel, but we are going to postpone our celebration until everyone can come. Because there's people right now that are staying away, and that's okay because of this virus. We will have it at a later date, but we want everybody there, and we want that sweet fellowship again. In the meantime, we will have regular church services on Sunday at 10 a.m. and on Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. And I'm asking each one of you to help protect the flock. Please, if you are sick, or even if you think that you might be getting sick, even if you think you just have a mild cold, please stay home. And if need be, get tested. Mitigate as much as possible. Keep a distance between yourself and others whenever possible. Wash and sanitize your hands often. And I do mean often. Go overboard with this. We have wash areas. We have sanitizer, hand sanitizer at both doors. And we're not mandating that everybody wears a mask. They're optional. But if you feel safe or safer with a mask on, or at least maybe come in with a mask and then sit down and take your mask off, my feelings will not be hurt at all, and neither will anybody's. We will respect that. And if you want to stay home, we'll certainly understand it. And masks are available. They're there at the front door. We have them for anyone that wants to put one on. And listen, I know that this next thing I'm going to ask you is really hard. Because we all love one another. And we want to show that love and affection toward one another. But I'm asking you, please, try not to hug one another. Just try not to hug one another. You know, elbows to elbow. I know it looks silly. But the love that we have for one another is right here in our hearts. And that's not going to change. And you can see it on the smiles of the people when we meet on Wednesday night and Sunday. If you feel led to attend church, we welcome you. We embrace it. We love it. I love to see those faces out there. And it's been great as you have all started coming back. And I don't want to discourage that. And if you feel like you need to continue to stay away for a while, listen, all of us also embrace that decision. That is a personal decision that you and your family have to make. And we support that. The bottom line is this: the church will continue to do its part. And now it's up to each one of you to do your part also. We love you, and we can't wait to see you all again. We can't wait to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. God bless you all.